I had never in my life experienced cockroaches until Christmas of 2020 when we moved into that weekly motel, and I lost my damn mind. Part 62 of sharing my story on here because it's so much easier than writing another book. And the sun is shining. It's beautiful outside. When we move into this weekly motel, and it's between Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2020, I had never experienced anything like this because the floors were like caving in the kitchen and the bathroom. It was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, but we had a kitchen, and that was a really big deal. And it was easy access for him to go pedicab down on Fremont, and for me to go to the grocery store next door. And it was like way cheaper than what we had been doing bouncing around in hotels. But the roaches were like, I never experienced roaches. You know how you hear the horror stories? It's one thing to hear it. It's another thing to wake up with one crawling on you. It's another thing to go into the kitchen and see thousands of them scatter. I got, and the kids got, such bad PTSD from living with roaches. I don't know how people do it. Like, it fucked with my head. So from right before Christmas all the way until April, we had to stay in this shitty fucking place. And we did everything we could, like me and the kids, just get out of the house. Do not be in the house. We didn't have much of anything, and that was a good thing because the roaches, when you leave, you have to get rid of them, and it's not an easy thing. But my entire body shut down. By Christmas, our cell phones were disconnected. We're living in this roach-infested fucking apartment. Seagull Suites, like it's the dump of the dump. Some of the other buildings literally have bullet holes in the side of them. And I am at a low that I've never experienced. It's a low that I didn't even think was possible, because it's one thing to be like living in tents after a hurricane. It's another thing to be inner city with kids, with teenagers, in a roach infested place. And there's no rules for this. I got so severely depressed, I could hardly function. Like, I was a shadow of myself. Like, I just kind of lost it. But when I did my taxes beginning of 2021, I noticed something that was really different, because in 2018 and 19, we had made less than $20,000 on our tax return. In 2020, we made $84,000. And I'm like, we 4x'd our income, even though 2020 was a complete shit show and it was fucking awful. We went from less than $20,000 to $84,000. And I'm like, that's a pretty big jump. Like, we're on to something. And that tax return really fucking helped, because we needed it badly in order to be able to get out of the roach infested place. So we got a hefty tax return, and there was stimulus money that came through, something like that came through from the government. And we had a chunk of money to be able to do something. And I was so proud of myself, because instead of just going and spending, I just held on to it, I was calculated. It took me about a week to figure out the plan from when it hit my account. I'm like, I need to just really feel through this, because I'm not going to blow this opportunity. We're going to buy something that we're going to get out of this with this money. And there was finally a day where I was like, okay, first step, we need a car. We need a vehicle that holds the 6 of us. And I have $2,500 that I can spend on a car. I'm not coming home until I get this car. And I had already been on this journey where I was like, I need to go walk until I'm not depressed anymore. And so I would go walk 8, 10, 11 miles because I just was so depressed. I needed to do something to pull myself out. And walking was the only thing I could think to do that would help me. And that was a huge help. So this one day I'm like, okay, I'm going to go buy a car. And I had went all over the city on the bus and walking and just like calling people. I'm really looking for a private owner. And I had finally found one at the very end of the evening, and it was absolutely perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. A Dodge Durango. It got shitty gas mileage, but it ran really well, and it was owned by a family that took really good care of it. And I was like, that's what we're doing. And it held 6 people because we need that extra seats. And I'm like, this is absolutely perfect. I'll take it. And I drove it home. And that was the first taste of freedom. But we still had about another $7,000 or $8,000 to be able to get into a new place. But by this point, we have like no rental history because we had been in the RV for a number of years, and then we had been in Airbnbs, and my credit was completely shot because from our son's illness and when he was in the hospital for the 9 days, I had had about $3.2 million in medical bills that were on my credit. Now, had I thought about it way back then, I could have worked with the hospital and probably just getting the whole thing written off. But by this point, I'm years into it, first time to think of looking at my credit. And that's when I'm noticing that I've got all these medical bills on there, and I've literally got millions of dollars in medical bills. So, and somehow Reed just had everything put on my credit. And all of this is like coming out now because he doesn't even have credit. He had never just joined the credit system ever. And I told him to so many times, but he just would not listen. So now all of these irritations are coming out, and my credit score is like 320 because of all these medical bills. And how do you find a place? No rental history, credit score of 320, like, and we're a large family. And so I was getting so frustrated living in these roaches, having money to be able to rent a place, but yet not finding a place. And this was when I started to recognize a pattern. When I got really pissed off at Reed, he would do something, but I had to get really pissed off, but I don't like being pissed off. And so I started to just really see that, okay, he almost kind of likes it when I'm angry. It seems that way, but then I'd ask him about it, and he's like, no, that's crazy. Of course I don't like it when you're angry. But he wouldn't do anything unless I was angry. But then when I would get angry, he would do the thing, and everything would be better. So I'm learning how to use my anger in order to get him to just get up and like make the things happen. And so he was real determined this one day. I was just pissed because I want somewhere to live. And he goes, okay, today's the day. And don't you know, by that night, we had gotten into a brand new mobile home. It was a new mobile home park that was kind of up in the hood. Okay, like really up in the hood. But it was better than where we were staying. And it was super affordable. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $1,400 a month in a brand new. And with all of my allergies and everything we've been through, it was like, yes, we need a new something. It was a brand new mobile home for $1,400 a month. And I'm like, that is fucking awesome. We can do that. So for the prior week, I had been getting furniture on like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and putting it into a storage unit because we didn't own anything. Like we literally only had our luggage and our clothing, our basic like toiletries, that we didn't have a single piece of furniture. We'd been in an RV for 5 years. So I had started, while we're looking for a place before he finally found us one, I had just been buying things off of Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and putting it in a storage unit so that we would have something to live with and live on when we got into the place. So we did this quick move, and we fully and successfully did not bring the roaches with us. And it didn't even matter that the entire place was like 1,000 square feet and there was 6 of us. Like, we were just so happy to be out of a roach infested place and into our own place. It's like mattresses on the floor. Fine. Everything thrifted. Fine. As long as there's not roaches, it was safe and clean. And that was the best feeling ever.